Nerd Academy podcast is released weekly at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, available on our website at www.thenerdacademypodcast.com and wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. You can also help support the show by going to patreon.com/The Nerd Academy podcast, where every donation allows us to bring you more exciting content every week.
Good morning, class, and welcome back to TNAP Movie Club, the show your favorite nerds sit down and talk about some movies. I am your host, Jarod, the Dark Jedi Bachman Subs, and joining me, as always, is the one and only Mr. Devin Armel.
Good morning. Welcome back to another episode. I'm back in the studio for once, and it feels awesome to be sitting next to him. Like, I don't like you guys usually always see him through a screen, but like I've known him for a long time, so it's like in-person screen. It feels good to be back. But
it's always way more fun doing these in the flesh. First off, I'm going to lie to you guys and say that was an Easter egg that because of George Lucas's involvement and all of the Star Wars Easter eggs in the Indiana Jones franchise, that's why you heard 30 seconds of the Knights of the New Republic intro. That's why. Totally.
Good one.
Anyway, we're here. Indiana Jones month is upon us. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Hopefully, any of you who are $5 patrons listened along and watched Raiders with Spencer and myself and Devin for the first time. So, let's do some numbers. I want to talk about how watching Indiana Jones for the first time.
All right, we'll go through some numbers. So, Raiders of the Lost Ark, or The Raiders of the Lost Ark, depending on who you are and who you follow. The movie came out in 1981 with a PG rating. It's an hour and 55 minutes long. The movie has an 8.4 out of 10 on IMDb, 95% on Rotten Tomatoes, 85% on Metacritic, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
The budget of this movie for 1981 was $20 million. The estimated box office today is just under $390 million.
It was a profit.
Pretty good, yeah.
It was a profit.
The studio did well. No wonder they made more.
No wonder they made more, he says. Yeah. No, yeah, this was interesting. This was like you said, 1980. So around the same time that The Empire Strikes Back is coming out.
Right when Harrison Ford is like a household name. I don't know if this movie
Ford's
made
household
him a household name or not.
Star Wars definitely did.
I'm sure it did, but I'm sure it didn't hurt that these movies came out like
no. That's
right
exactly
at,
the case.
yeah.
Though, is that like Han Solo was a household name. This is what like this was the moment like Harrison Ford. Now, granted, there's not a whole lot of daylight between Han Solo and Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
As people, you know, they kind of go on the same journey of like becoming slightly less selfish, but still cool as hell, right?
He's such a cowboy,
right?
He's such a cowboy. Like whether you like, he's always in earth tones, and like whether it's in space or in like some foreign country looking for something, like he looks really cool when he does it, and
yeah,
it's easy to see like why he does what he does.
Really hot, too.
Yeah. He's a good looking fellow. I like the hat and the whip cracking. It's kind of cool. I wish I was cool enough to have a whip, man.
Dude.
Like, not even cool enough, but like I would so whip my own leg and like or whip my own arm or something. And
you
like,
did a much better job than I did of pretending that fly isn't in here.
Thank you.
Because I'm sure someone on camera just watched my eyes go as it flew past my face.
Like the guys in the movie when the bugs are just crawling on their face.
Oh
like,
my God. We have guys. I don't know. It must be. God damn it! It must be George Lucas. Son of a bitch! It must be George Lucas because anytime Devin watches a franchise for the first time, we get a very vocal reaction out of him at this point. Like that's the guarantee. The spiders and the snakes, just
oh my God,
worth $5. if you haven't paid the $5 to listen to his reaction to Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru, I'm not gonna stop harping on it. It's my favorite part of all of the Star Wars audio commentaries.
I'm
so
happy
far.
you and Spence had fun like with that part of it because I was
Yeah.
literally like I wasn't caught up in a ball, but like they can't see us on the audio commentary, so I may or may not have just been sitting there like this like the entire time. Oh my god, I can't believe we didn't get bit, but that's not the point.
Oh my goodness, no! But like it's so much fun going back and watching these movies because there's a party like it's for me, for someone who's seen these movies quite a few times. There's a like, oh man, this is just so good, goddamn good. You know, like the joke we made with the Star Wars commentaries, where every 30 seconds it's just me screaming about how good I think the movie is. Which, like, oh, you know, spoiler, you know, 4 tattoos and like 2 different Star Wars podcasts throughout my life later. It's surprising that I won't shut up about how much I love it while I'm watching it. Indiana Jones, same thing, like not to that like psychotic degree because it's Star Wars, but I just have so much fun with it, and there's a extra level of fun to be had watching it with somebody for the first time, and like hearing you in real time. And like I think Spencer put it this way, and it like because we had like a little bit of like a ending explained at the end of the audio commentary, where Spencer was talking about like he was enjoying it because you were like quote asking all the right questions, as he put it. That like the second like they get to the landing pad, you're like, oh man, I hope someone gets killed with that propeller.
It was
That's
too
like the
easy.
second that's where your head went.
It was too easy. It was like if you're gonna do it, and what you've done so far between like the murder and like the not like funny ways people die, but like the somewhat like no way. And so as soon as they started fighting on that plane, like it was, I don't know, I don't want to say it was a no-brainer, but I wanted it really bad. So when that guy got propellered, I felt it was a pretty nice payoff.
We'll talk about it when we get to Temple of Doom.
Okay.
But Temple of Doom is the reason why there's a PG-13 rating.
Like in existence?
Pretty much.
You know, that makes wait. This was PG.
This was PG.
That like just like when I read it doing the number stuff, it was like, okay. But then I was like, now I'm thinking about Nazis' faces melting and like a guy got propellered and like
Doc Ock gets stabbed in the face by a spike wall.
yeah. There's just wax body doubles of people like cut in half everywhere. Like anytime there was like a what's that called when they like a scare surprise
Jump scare.
And then like the corpse's mouth is wide open, like it's a vocal of someone screaming, but it is like a dead body in front of you. It usually looks pretty gruesome. Not to mention the Ark just like sends lasers through people's chests.
Yeah.
And, like they cease to exist.
Not to mention like the scary spirits coming out of the Ark.
Was Gremlins PG?
Good thing we have a Google machine. 84, I'm going to guess yes. Oh, hey, you want to go see Gremlins?
Kinda.
Good.
That's a nice blast from the past. And a fun with that. But that is like so interesting that like I forget that these ratings weren't like this all the time. So like you watch these older movies and now like saying it out loud.
I don't want its score. I want to know like it's MPAA rating.
Is Gremlins okay for an 8-year-old? Depends on the 8-year-old.
Gremlins is not for little kids. Like this is the simple answer from Common Sense Media, which I can't say is incorrect because my sister tried to watch it sometime like a couple Christmases ago and just was like, nope.
Did it mess her up?
Oh yeah, a little
Man.
bit. It's okay. Hey, listen, I'm proud of her because she spoke up when I didn't as a child. And I just kind of suffered through getting
just sat there
out by that
took
movie.
the trauma.
Yeah.
She was like, I don't think I should watch this.
You know what did make me tap out? Never Ending Story.
Which part? You remember when you tapped?
I know precisely the moment. the wolf. He's like, I'll peel the flesh from your bones. Have not picked that movie back up since. I am 23 years of age.
We'll bring it back around on here.
Little
bonus feature. Jarod faces his fears. And
that's put that on the list of when we reach X amount of patrons. I will rewatch the Neverending Story and see if it still spooks me. But yeah, so this movie is like the consummate like action adventure movie. Like,
oh yeah,
this is this is the pinnacle of action adventure. I mean, this franchise as a whole, as I said before on the audio commentary, Last Crusade is my favorite. That one I think is like The Last Crusade, kind of like, how do I put this? Kind of in the same way with Star Wars, where like, you know, everything about like A New Hope, right? Like, it has all of the iconography. Like, it has the Death Star and the Millennium Falcon and the Stormtroopers and the lightsabers and Darth Vader, right? Where like A New Hope is what started it all. It's what like made all those things iconic. Return of the Jedi, at least for me, and even Empire Strikes Back, have that like that's where it's like the most bang for your buck is like okay, you've accepted this stuff. We're not going to like act like this stuff is iconic right this second. It's just part of this story. It's part of the narrative. It's kind of a given. We're just going for it. And we're having a good time. Raiders made Indy iconic. Last Crusade is like Indy's best outing, if that makes sense.
Well said. Coming from someone that hasn't seen it, like, it makes sense. I'm excited to watch the whole franchise. I'm excited at the end to have like a top, like a rating for everything.
And eventually we'll make him watch Crystal Skull.
I've heard great things about it, and I saw it in theaters so forever ago. All I remember is Shia LaBeouf like running around though. And I remember like the skull itself. I don't remember anything else about the plot.
The only thing that there are two things that I distinctly remember. One, I'm not going to spoil for you.
Thank you.
And yes, it's exactly what you think it is. Don't comment it. The other one is there's a scene where they're like racing like Jeeps, and scary French German lady, whatever the hell European ethnicity she is, and Shia LaBeouf are having a sword fight. Like there's like two speeding Jeeps, and like they're racing parallel to each other, and they're standing on top of them like ka-ching, ka-ching,
is it a good sword fight? Is it like a Pirates of the Caribbean sword fight?
I don't remember. I just remember that there's a sword fight, which 9 times out of 10 is my brain protecting me from shitty choreography and editing. That my brain will just remember that there's a sword fight.
Just electively chooses not to acknowledge.
No, not to remember any of it. Just that a sword fight happens, and it'll let my brain like fill in the choreography. That said, like I love picking your brain about like these first time viewings.
Mm-hmm.
So like there were like iconic moments here. Was there anything that like you were tangentially familiar with that you got to see for the first time watching this, or like the sword reminded me like the swordsman in the town square in Cairo, where there's like that famous like he's like doing,
and
he's like
Harrison Ford just said no, apparently due to some stomach issues.
Yeah,
which I think is hilarious.
Yeah, allegedly he had like explosive diarrhea, and that's why they did that scene that way. It's because Indy was originally supposed to have a duel to the death with him.
As far as like the two moments I think that stuck out for me as far as like how a franchise goes, it's got to be, they both happened in 5 minutes. The first one is whenever he screams hello, pointing a rocket launcher at all of them.
Favorite part of the movie.
Favorite
part of the movie. I've never related to a movie character more than him going, hello!
Yeah, I've never seen someone just say F it. And like I was just like, what's his plan? And then you guys in the audio commentary were like, Bellog's gonna call his bluff. And then I was like, oh shit, like he's just doing all of this on a whim, but also like smart, but also like a whim. and also like holding a rocket launcher. And the second part of the movie that I think like definitely gave me clarification as a franchise goes is whenever the Ark actually turned out to be like Wrath of God. I was so happy they like leaned into it. I mean, I feel like they had to. I feel like it wouldn't have made a whole movie about something that ended up not working. So like, I don't know. I felt like a lot of payoff having it like be real, and it made me more excited for the sequels, like tenfold from where I already was.
Yeah, I like you get so caught up, at least for me, again, like watching these movies for the upteenth time. Like you get so caught up in the high adventure and like the fun stuff. It's
Yeah.
like, like the swashbuckling and stuff that you kind of forget that the movie is hurtling towards God smiting the Nazis,
Yeah,
right? Like,
intensely.
yeah.
They
Like, they're-
melted.
Yeah, because you get so caught up in like, oh, like they're gonna go get the Ark, they gotta go get the Ark, that again you forget, oh yeah, like the Ark works. Like there's a reason why they're going after it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also, and we brought this up in the audio commentary, take a shot every time I say that. There's also the element of what I love about like the Nazis and the occult, and I feel like there's like a whole subculture of people who are super into learning about like the Third Reich's weird obsession with like the supernatural.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really hard for like a first time viewer that knows about sequels to knows that Harrison Ford goes on to feel like real suspense in the movie. And so like throughout the movie when they're just like it could be the wrath of God, like the Nazis are after it. Yeah, like I get that the stakes for them were high, but it wasn't for me. But whenever that box started working, I was like edge of my seat, like totally invested. And it just reminded me of like in a way how fun the movie was. Not that Nazis were melting, but that like
Oh no, that part's
it was
really
fun. It was jaw dropping on first viewing, but it's fun conceptually to look at and just be like, this franchise is gonna like I'm gonna like it, like moving forward.
And there's also something that like, any type of supernatural whatever in any franchise or story, I very badly want to understand like the minutia of how any type of like magic or anything work. I mean, use magic for lack of a better term here, works in this kind of setting, right? And maybe that's because again, as a Star Wars person and someone who grew up on Star Wars, I had no lack of things to learn about how the Force worked.
Mm-hmm.
That in air quotes. So that said, I love that you don't get quite a clear like, here is what the Ark is doing, here is how it's doing it, here is why it's doing it. Like you just see they open it, they see the sand in it, coat hanger Nazi giggles
Mm-hmm.
at the fact that all of this is over
Prematurely.
very prematurely, and then the lightning bolt skewers these guys. Everyone, like the one guy's face like implodes on itself. Coat hanger Nazi's face gets like sun bleached,
I
and
still
then
can't wrap my head around a PG rating.
Disintegrates,
I get that,
and
it's
then
the 80s.
Belloc's head just straight up blows up.
Such a shame. What a good villain. Like you guys were saying that like earlier on, and I was just like, all right, cool. I can't wait to see like why. And it's not Marvel syndrome at all, wherever like the supervillain is like the same powers and it's like the opposite of the hero. But I liked that Belloc was like heavily influenced on like seemingly being, I almost just said Hans, Indiana's like equal. And I liked that. Like
I would even say that Belloc, in all ways except for morally, is Indiana Jones' superior.
he seems highly efficient. I think it's because he's not afraid to get his hands dirty.
I think it's exactly
morally.
that. And again, I love Belloc as a character, and as a villain, the thing that I like, it's like one of the few things that I can like give that I can take points away from with Raiders is
Is it the Marion stuff with him?
not the Marion stuff, because like Marion's pretty in control in those moments. Like
Yeah.
if it were like a weird like damsel in distress type thing where we end up with friggin' Rita going all the way back to Wild Wild West, you know, that we're like Rita kind of betrays Jim and Artemis to Loveless, like the second she's in the room with Loveless. Well, like Marion's like with her liver of titanium,
It's pretty impressive.
you know, it's kind of like getting him drunk so that she has an opportunity to escape
Mhm.
or kill him. And she doesn't sell Jones out. Pardon me. That said, the only thing I feel like I could really take points away from Belloc is the scene where he spells it out to Indy in the little bar.
Just
Where he literally
expositional
says,
unloading.
I don't care. The exposition, I don't care. Like, if you have a fascinating enough character and you write the scene well enough, you can just get away with scenes that are full exposition sometimes. It works.
Mhm.
Loki did it. This movie does it a couple times. Like the scene in the classroom where,
Yeah.
where Indy's like breaking it down for the FBI, or not the FBI, but like the United States military. The moment Belloc actually says, "We are not so different, you and I. I am in some ways a dark reflection of yourself." It was like,
It's like, yeah, you are.
yeah.
Yeah. That's a nice way to put it.
That's an astute observation, Renee. like I not only do I hate that he does that, we're not so different, you and I. It is the I am a dark reflection of yourself.
Yeah.
Where but you do not want to admit you are one push away from the light. You will be pushed into the dark, just like me. That seems like, for a movie that is really good and has a lot of really good subtle moments. My God, like they're just screaming that one line of dialogue. Well, I feel like out of nowhere, Kasdan and Spielberg and Lucas, like all collectively, just went, we need to make sure the audience is aware of the fact that Belloc is evil Indiana Jones.
It worked.
Because he said it. I hope it worked.
Well, he said it, and like with the scene around him and his actions, like throughout
He
the
didn't
rest of
need
the
to
movie,
say it, 'cause
he didn't need to say
Or
it.
he already worked that way as a character.
It's also like just like a bit of a taunt. Like Indiana thinks Marion's dead, doesn't know he's in cahoots with a Nazi monkey, and like, which is hilarious. But I don't know. I think it
felt
was
so
kind of a
bad for
taunt.
you. You got so invested in that monkey to turn around and be a friggin' Nazi.
I was relieved when he ate the dates. I'll leave it at that. But it did feel kind of taunting, and I think it built up on Belloc's character, even though it was a bit like just like right in front of you. But
Yeah.
But I liked it. I still liked him.
I like that scene a lot. Like the scene works, and the guy who plays Belloc does a great job. It's just like that specific, those two lines back to back, that like it just brings that whole scene down. Especially when it ends with the like this is a transmitter to God. He's like, we can go see him right now, you and me, Renee. And he tries to pull the gun, and then like everybody in the bar has a weapon on Indiana Jones, and then the kids come in, and you get that, oh, be careful, Mr. Jones, next time it will take more than children to save you. Like that, like it's so good. And it has this terrible two lines in it back to back.
I love that Indy was ready to just like take him away.
Oh yeah, take him away, and knew that he was going to get shot doing it.
Yeah.
I will also say there's like it's never addressed, not to my knowledge, because it's been a minute since I've been able to like sit down and watch these movies beginning to end. Like I have them on TV anytime they're on, but like I haven't like walked in front of it in a minute. I love the way, at least in Raiders, that, and then granted, like it's part of Star Wars, so this isn't like a you know, hypocrisy thing, because like take a shot every time they say destiny in a Star Wars movie, you're gonna like go to the hospital. I love the way that like everybody like Indy and Marion, like it feels like, I'm not a very religious person, so when I can't I when I talk about God, especially in the context of a franchise like Indiana Jones, where uh the Judeo-Christian God is very real.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of in the abstract, at least for me, but the way that like it almost feels like Marion and Indy were chosen by God for this adventure in a way. Where like Indy is so uniquely given the skill set to be able to handle these challenges, handle these tests. He's put on this like trial of faith where like he talks about it, he calls it mumbo jumbo. He calls it, you know,
Yeah.
he talks about it in a very academic way, and like seeing him like become part of it, seeing the way that he uses that academic knowledge but also reverence for it to like save he and Marion's lives. You know, Marion is predisposed to be able to handle this type of world, this type of adventure. You know, like even her severe alcoholism is something that aids her in this journey.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that.
You almost could have had a scene with like some rather crazy old man saying that all of this had like a prophecy behind it. I'm glad that they didn't.
Me too.
I'm glad they didn't. But like, you're right. When you're dealing with something as like biblically powerful and like is like a huge moment for, I'd say, like humanity in general. Like this
Yeah.
thing's been lost for, I don't remember how long they said, but a
Yeah.
long heckin' time. And like,
You get your one, it's okay.
cool, but a long time. And like, it feels very like, knowing now what the Ark actually is, like this was so important. Like the Nazis get their hand on the Ark, like the world's different today. So like, I totally hear what you're saying as far as like, it was like every part of their personality was an asset to them. Like it feels like it was meant to be.
Yeah.
It's kind of a nice way of putting it.
So you said something that I want that brings me into a topic I've been looking forward to broaching with this.
Okay.
And I really hope bringing this up does not ruin the movie for you. Because in my opinion, I hate this opinion. I think it's one of those things where like it's funny, like to talk about it. Like if you bring it up as a joke, it's funny, and if you joke about it, it's one thing. But if it's like your actual like analysis of the film, I feel like you miss the whole point of the movie and you don't know how to watch movies. Have you ever heard people discuss the way that Indiana Jones kind of affects nothing about the plot?
I've heard that criticism before, but like I'd never seen the movie, so I was always just like, well, that kind of sucks. Like I was wondering if that was like a giant like technical plot hole in the whole thing. But I guess like when I think about it, then like, well, I mean, he led them to the Ark. They might have found it eventually, but like he is the one.
Because a lot of that criticism is based around the idea that no matter what, if the Nazis get to the Ark, they will get themselves killed.
Okay,
so
that's
that, like,
easy to say though. Whenever like,
so that the Nazis, no matter like if Indiana Jones, like the Nazis do win. You know, these are one of those movies where like technically the bad guy did fulfill their objective, but
mission failed successfully. Like,
yeah. And like it's funny to say that like Indiana Jones kind of could have stayed home, and eventually like Belloc and Colonel Reich. I don't remember what his name
Yeah.
is, and then like coat hanger Nazi. Like, every German soldier plus Belloc, dead men. Like from the moment they begin this mission, they are dead men walking.
It might have even made it all the way back like to Hitler. And then like it's almost like if Indiana Jones didn't intervene, then like more good would have happened. I don't like that.
Potentially.
I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all. Like how like you can't bank on knowing that the Ark would have gotten everyone killed as him just being like, oh, you could have stayed at home.
Exactly, and that's my
I don't
biggest
like
thing
that
with
at all.
it. Is it like it is such a journey of growth and humanity
Yeah,
that
like,
happens for
yeah.
Jones.
The story's not just about the Ark.
Exactly.
Like it's Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Like, sure, things would have played out probably exactly the same. Like they clearly found Marion. They probably would have like killed her or tortured her and took the medallion.
Yeah, Marion's
like-
probably dead.
Yeah,
In the version of this
Marion
where
probably would have died.
Indiana Jones just stays home, Marion Ravenwood's a corpse.
Marion would have died. They would have got the medallion translated. They would have known to like shorten the staff and like found the place and all the shit and dealt with the snakes. I mean, it's an army. You can deal with some freaking snakes.
Yeah.
They would have actually used cranes to like lift up all the concrete instead of, just juicing a little bit. And like,
Not Indiana Jones, like superhuman strength.
yeah. No, I understand that point. Like, I guess it just feels like things worked out that way. He still had influence
Yeah.
and everything like that. Like he pushed the story along. I don't know if they always planned on opening the Ark there instead of like just. Well, no, it was going to go on the plane, taken right to the Führer, and like. I hate that people are just like, oh, Indiana Jones didn't really do anything. Like, I don't want to say like screw you to people's opinions, but like, I don't know. That feels like a way to just completely shit all
It's
over.
a dookie water tank.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. They're not wrong, but that's just like, how could you watch this movie and like that's your like
I
biggest
think that
takeaway?
there's like I feel like this comes up every couple reviews. I used to love CinemaSins before CinemaSins forgot the joke and before the audience didn't think there was a joke. Indiana Jones does nothing to stop the Nazis. Like Indiana Jones doesn't have to do anything for the Nazis to lose. Is one of the most CinemaSinsian takes I've ever heard in my life. Because like to do that, you need this piece of art and adventure and journey. You need this story about a man's journey to like trying to help the world, and also he learns so much about himself doing it. To be just like completely like you just need it to be all numbers, right? And like that's just one of those things that I hate. Is like I saw like on Twitter yesterday. Of course, I saw this horrible opinion on Twitter. Somebody was like tweeting about how they didn't like the Suicide Squad. Like it was like there was this person who tweeted the clip of Bloodsport like juicing up his gun to start shooting at Starro, and the person tweeted the video, and they were like, "This is so cool." Like this, like you cannot tell me that if there wasn't a pandemic going on right now, this would not have put asses in seats. And then this person like went on this like, well, no, the gun looks so ugly, and it's just so illogical how that works, and it's illogical that Harley Quinn's just standing there with like a pointy stick, and it's illogical, and it's just and it's like they like going on this whole tirade. And I replied to it, I'm like, yes, but have we spoken on the impeccable logic of the giant telepathic starfish they're fighting?
Yeah, if you're gonna nitpick the right shit,
like.
But that's not the point.
Exactly.
That's not the point. Like, and every commercial
you're
for
not
this,
funny and clever just because you think you're smarter than the movie.
God, you want to talk about the logic of shit? In every single trailer, there's a 9-foot shark that can talk. There you go. Have fun with that for a couple hours. Nitpick at that. It's a comic book movie based on comic books that aren't real. I wish, but aren't.
Yeah. But it's that same mentality.
Yeah.
Where it's like it's completely illogical. Like who the shit said it was going to be logical, bud? Like that's the whole point here. The whole point here is just high adventure and fun. Like, I don't want to say turn your brain off, but like turn the part of your brain that for some reason thinks all entertainment has to be a mathematical fucking equation.
Like, if there's a giant telepathic starfish in the sky, can Bloodsport not have like some cool nanotech? I think nanotech's a bit abused ever since like Star-Lord's helmet, but like, so what? Like, that's not even a concept of the movie. It's for a really cool shot. That's what that's there for. And to show you that like Bloodsport actually does have like some serious firepower on him.
Yeah.
Like, those are the only two things. The gun doesn't even work. You're bitching about the gun that doesn't really do much. Like, the gun doesn't take down Starro.
No. But it's that same, like, in my opinion, faulty logic that you kind of arrive at an Indiana Jones doesn't further the plot of his own movie.
Yeah.
Opinion that it's just so CinemaSinsian of like the movie's an equation, and if there's any type of logical fallacy involved there, that like it's immediately bad.
You could look at so many decisions throughout the movie. Like, look in the first 10 minutes of like that indigenous tribe shooting arrows at him. The dude shoots the arrow like off to the left into a tree. Like, pick at the logic at that for a little bit. But like, why? Like, Indiana Jones is probably going to live. There's gonna probably be a sequel.
Yeah, we're 5 minutes in. I don't think he's catching an arrow through the throat in the first 5 minutes.
Like, I don't know. That mentality, you're right, I think is like just like wrong.
I don't understand you can enjoy anything that way.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't. Like, because again, on some level, it's fun to like jokingly nitpick movies and have fun with it. Like if you're doing it to like have fun, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But like when you clearly can't do it jokingly with yourself or with friends, and you just end up hating every movie because logic. Like, I'm sorry you live
something
a miserable
you'll
life.
enjoy.
Yeah, good luck finding something you'll enjoy.
Stick to dramas and like crime thrillers, I guess. Whatever. Don't go watch Indiana Jones if you're gonna be that kind of guy. But we're not those guys.
We're not those guys.
Indiana Jones was sick.
It was cool as hell.
It was a lot of fun, and he had a lot to do in that movie, despite what anyone says, CinemaSinsian or not.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing more of these. Especially, I'm hoping to have Spencer on at least one review.
I loved having Spencer there. Like, not only just like, I don't know, rather knowledgeable about the franchise and everything like that, but like, I don't know. I liked our conversations we were having. I like listening to you guys talk, like trying to listen to the movie, but then like also hearing you guys just say like some funny shit, and I'm just like, I'm like shaking my head and laughing at the same time and watching the movie. I was just like, this is fun. Like, this is a good time. So yeah, I hope Spence comes back.
Yeah, he said when I had a conversation with him, he said something to the effect of, I was like, yeah, be on for the audio commentaries and the reviews, because I was like, because my logic was the audio commentaries, because they're behind a paywall, like aren't going to get as much play time as the review. And he was like, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm more excited for the audio commentaries. It's okay if I'm not on the review. And I was like, okay.
Well, then he'll definitely come back.
He'll be back.
I also just saw Indiana Jones's Antifa, and like, I like that we do this.
He is. Indiana Jones kills a lot of Nazis.
A lot of Nazis.
He's here tier.
Yeah.
He's here tier for Nazi killing.
So is Marion.
Yeah. Marion bodies some Nazis
in
too.
3 minutes worth of screen time, just like racks up a body count.
Yeah. Oh, that's one of my favorite parts of the audio commentary is like Marion goes through, like, I think maybe she like kills maybe one or two people in the bar when it's on fire, and then just like within seconds, like she's behind the machine gun on the German plane, and it's like, oh hey, here's a Humvee of troops. Okay, cool, I'm caught up to him.
Question: is Marion like around in like upcoming? You could say yes and no because there's several movies, or you could just say no, or you could just say yes.
For the purpose of the movies we will be watching,
Mm-hmm.
the answer is no.
Damn. Is it like really Austin Powers-y?
She does come back in Crystal Skull.
Oh, I think I just remembered a part about Chris. Is she Shia's mom?
She will be back in Crystal Skull.
Okay. I don't know why that like light bulb's so hard. I'm pretty sure she's Shia's mom. But whatever. There'll be a new female protagonist in the next one, I'm presuming.
I mean,
Is it a little Austin Powers-y? Is it a little like
you mean just in general that he has like a new like
a
lady
she, like
who goes along with him in every movie?
I'm assuming there is
yeah.
one. That's her or it's Austin Powers-y?
It's Austin Powers-y.
All right. I mean, it's Indiana Jones. He seems like a guy that, you know.
I mean, in the defense of Temple of Doom, it's a prequel.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I was saying before. That like you're like always like if you're watching these for the first time, always watch Raiders first. Technically, Temple of Doom takes place before Raiders, but watch Raiders first.
You should always watch them like I feel like chronologically when they came out. I feel like that's so much more fun.
Yeah, release order.
Yeah.
And then, like something I think will be interesting is that like Temple of Doom, like indie, like it's a darker, edgier movie all around.
Is it like Empire versus A New Hope?
Kinda.
Does it work like that?
Yeah.
Ah, cool.
Like
All
I said,
I'm more excited
this
now.
movie's the reason why there's a PG-13 rating.
Let's go.
Because just think of the shit they got away with on a PG here.
Yeah, no, that's pretty
Because
impressive.
at the time,
like,
it just went G, PG, R.
no, man, this like some of this, you know,
and
if
they
a kid's
told-
the wrong age, like minor, like nightmare-inducing, potentially, you know, like sure, like the Nazis are the ones that got melted, but like you watch
It's
someone
still watching
melt
people get melted
due to a magical gold box and like
Angry God box.
angry god box.
But no, Doom has a lot going on in it. And like Indy is a character. Like he's still fresh, like at this point, like kind of fresh to the whole archaeologist adventure type thing. So like he's got a bit of an edge to him in that one too.
I'm like super excited to watch this.
Yeah.
Let's go.
He's a bit darker. Like I said, Crusade, I'm the most excited for. But I'm most excited to rewatch Crusade. I am incredibly excited to watch you watch Temple of Doom.
Yeah, set that up soon.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what order that is. That just the next one?
Yeah.
Sick. Yes.
Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, The Last Crusade,
Crystal Skull. And then
5 is in production.
do we know? Okay, cool. Cool.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't suck.
I don't think it will.
I hope it's not like
They have what's his face? Logan.
Hugh Jackman.
No. Director of Logan and the Wolverine. It's on the tip of my tongue and I can't think of his name. I'm gonna get angry at myself for Googling this. I know his name. James Mangold. Yeah, James Mangold.
Oh, well, that guy can control a story.
Yeah.
All right, cool. There's hope.
Yeah, I know. I think Indy 5 is going to be really good. But yeah, Devin, final thoughts and letter grade.
Final thoughts. I don't know if it's because I just like to look at movies technically, or if it's because some days I genuinely just have a stick up my ass.
Yeah.
But movies like Indiana Jones kind of like, in a way, remind me of what it's all about.
So I'm just going to stop you right there. So what you're saying
No,
is...
I'm not saying my opinions about Star Wars are wrong. I'm saying that across 3 movies, someone should have like told Luke sooner. I stand by that. They breeze by a lot. Your laughter is telling me that in Indiana Jones, they're just like, some things just clearly don't matter as far as
No. The movies, I will say, the Indiana Jones movies are really good at you really get to know Indy. But
Yeah.
there's a different cast of characters for each one. Like Crusade, you get to see more of Marcus,
Okay.
like Indy's friend at the university. Stuff like characters like that kind of stick around. But the only movie that really feels like a direct continuation of events from a previous movie is the way that Crystal Skull is connected to Raiders. But other than that, there isn't a Return of the Jedi style.
Yeah.
From a certain point of view, what I
Yeah.
told you is true, and you just need to accept that.
Okay.
There isn't something like that. I'm just laughing because
no.
because you don't have the undying reverence for Star Wars that I do, that I'm capable of hand waving a lot of stupid shit and just accepting it and being cool with it. And you getting angry on Luke Skywalker's behalf has not gotten less funny. Or has not lost any of its humor at all.
Okay, good. I'm glad you pointed out the difference between the two franchises. It feels like the Indiana Jones movies are not standalone-y, but
they're anthologies.
Yeah. I like that. If that's the case, then it's almost like watching episodes of a fun show.
Yeah.
It's just you get to stay with this one character and see him go on these awesome adventures. And for 1981 or 80, whatever came out, they did a lot of really cool shit in this movie. And I don't know, it reminded me of I don't think it's campy. I don't. Which I am happy about. Wonder Woman 84 didn't like that level of tone change between the first one and the second one. I couldn't do it. I couldn't switch over. I couldn't get on board. This is just out the gate. You got Doc Ock. No senor. Or whatever he says. It's fun. It's not that hard to get into. Yeah, they did the Loki expositional dump on you. But
it's
I don't
written
know.
and blocked and
it's
staged
written.
in such
It's
a great
written
way.
well. You have charismatic actors. What you're talking about is interesting.
Your main character is literally a teacher.
Yeah,
who teaches about this subject.
it makes him feel like a freaking superhero, university professor by day, dealing with Wrath of God type shit at night, and it was satisfying. It was fun. It was cool. I am so excited for the next one, and I'm glad I got to watch my first time with you guys and you and Spence. I'm definitely gonna give absolutely.
Say, please don't leave me hanging on camera.
It took me a while. It took me a second to
I've
understand, but
I've
won't
had
do that
chairs
to you.
break on me on air. I can't take being left hanging.
I won't cause you any more pain.
Every time that's happened has been pre us having a video version,
Mm-hmm.
which in my opinion at that point that was just a waste. You know,
You gotta make a collage of clips.
Anybody who's started listening or watching recently, I implore you. It's a very long episode. If you skim through it, you'll probably find it. Find our DC Fandom episode from last year. You will very clearly hear the sound of my chair breaking and me going, "Oh shit!" straight down.
Oh man, I'm gonna go look it up.
Yeah, it'll be good airplane fare.
All right, cool, good.
Plus some opinions that have probably aged like milk, like us talking about how much we love the trailer for Wonder Woman 84. I like 84, but I know that that's not the popular opinion.
Fair enough.
But
as far as the letter,
it's worth hearing me.
Oh
go
yeah, I'm gonna go look that up. Yeah, definitely. Out of love though. As far as the letter grade for Indiana Jones goes, it's hard to critique it. Very hard when it is something you do have a lot of fun with, and it feels like an adventure. And there isn't much about the movie I really didn't like.
It's one of those moments where you watch something and you go, "Oh, this is why this is a classic."
Yeah.
This is why this is held to such a high pedestal. Is that you go, "Oh, this is why."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. I get it.
A-.
All right.
I felt like at times it was like just a tad predictable, which is fine, which is totally fine. Like it's nothing wrong with that. Like there are tropes in movies in Hollywood and like
Yeah.
things to start to expect and things like that.
And I think that you kind of go into movies like this at a slight disadvantage. Like with the amount of movies that you have seen,
Yeah.
but have like slight blind spots, that like there are some things that have become predictable and have become cliche because prior movies and stories before have
Oh yeah,
perfected it.
I'm sure in 1981 this was like jaw dropping and like
Yeah.
very exciting, very new, very fresh, and it is like still to me those things.
Yeah.
Just like along the way, it happens to like, I guess, fall into some cliches, just like a little bit, which
Yeah.
like I'm not mad about. It's just like I can't give it an A plus, but like an A minus is like I feel like that's a great grade.
Yeah.
Like it's got a 95 on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm right there with like I feel like the average moviegoer, and like again, I am so stoked to watch the next one. Like, let's go. What do you like? Take it home, man. How do you feel about this movie overall?
I love it, man. I
know you love it.
it makes me happy.
Is there anything that takes away from like your highest potential grade?
I mean, I feel like it loses like maybe a half a point to a point for the Belloc scene. Like it's just the Belloc is written so well for this movie to just like and the fact that that's like the one thing I can harp on as a critique and something that I don't care for.
Yeah, like you're looking for it. You're looking for like not a critique, but like
Yeah, but like the fact that I have to pull that deep for a critique that I keep harping on,
mhm.
but I don't think it is it goes without harping. The Belloc is written so well, and out of nowhere, we're not so different, you and I. You are just a dark reflection. I am just a dark reflection of yourself. Like it's just so spelled out. When this movie's done a great job at like not doing that with Belloc, and I don't know. I'm gonna go solid A,
Nice.
light A plus.
Yeah, I'd say like a 96% is where you're 97%.
I'd say closer to a 97.
I
I'd say a
got you.
97%.
I'm gonna say like 92 and a half, 93-ish,
Okay.
somewhere in there. So you know,
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching.
Thank you so
listening,
much for
all of that
watching.
stuff. Devin, where can the lovely people find you?
guys, you can follow me on Instagram at Devin J Armel or on Twitter at Devin Armel1. Jarod, where are you located on the interwebs?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at DarkJedi2552, and you can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, wherever you listen to podcasts, and on our website, www.thenerdacademypodcast.com, where, if you're feeling generous, you can donate to our Patreon page. Speaking of our patrons, thank you to our $10 alumnus, the folks who get this show early, not by much this week. I apologize. Case and Brion, the Waffle Wizard, Delta 9, Zach Canals, Michael Armburst, and Jarod the Light Sith. We appreciate all of your patronage very, very much.
We do.
Even you damn troll. Thank you for your money, though. Be sure to consider the $5 tier where you get access to the TNAP Movie Club audio commentaries, the Knights of the Nerd Republic Versus Series, Heroic History 101, and be sure to check out the TeePublic where you get access to all manner of Nerd Academy merch and goodies. You can click on the student store link on the website, and it'll take you right to it. So go check that out. Devin looks sexy as hell in his new tank top. My God, he's looking
I
like a
love
snack.
that tank top. I'm taking that to Vegas with me.
Yeah?
I wear that shit poolside. I don't care. People will just be like, "Oh, like what's that?" I'd be like, "Sign up for the Patreon."
I love it. But yeah, be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the things. Thank you also very much for watching, listening, however you consume this show. And cut.
Stop! Move away from the cookie jar.